Okay, so the resolution of this game is going to be a little bit weird, because it is an old game, so we'll see how it goes. So I just thought after what happened yesterday, we should just play something other than Minecraft that isn't really, uh, like it is action themed, but not really. It's more of like a storyline based game. It was first released in 2011, so that was very long time ago. But yeah, I can't remember if I need a mouse for it or not, so I don't have my mouse plugged in. But yeah, let me know if the audio connection stuff is good. Okay, my mic seems to be lower. I don't know why. Let me see. Okay, how's the audio now? Because it's like I have to balance it. Okay, how's the audio now? Okay, it's sort of good. All right. Once we actually get into the game, I guess you'll let me know how it sounds. But yeah, yeah, because I actually have a job. It's actually the background sound of the actual game. So turn game sound. Well, the game is mostly audio based because there is a narrator for this. So that is why. All right, actually, yeah, because I do want to hear the sound though. How much for mod? Is that what we're doing now? We're paying for moderator? Alright, I'll get into the game and then you guys can tell me how the audio is. I'll even show you the intro, even because most of the times I skip
This is the
the intro.
story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one
It's meant to be
single
like a
order
creepy
had
slash
arrived on the
horror
monitor for
type
him to
game.
follow.
Well, not
No
really
one had
horror,
showed
just
up to
like
give him
creepy.
instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Alright, so now this is where we become Stanley and get to actually, like, move around. I think if we close the door, that's actually an ending. You can just, like, close the door. So I guess I don't need a mouse, but I still use the trackpad, but the trackpad's fine for this game. Let's close the door.
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go any way except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by?
Time goes so
He no
fast.
longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to.
Yes, Alt
He
F4
will
for
be
ending.
told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer.
It's even closer.
Here it comes.
And there's the end. That's one of the endings. All right, now let's get into the the real.
All
part
of his
the game.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Look at all these computers.
Stanley decided to go to the
I think
meeting
there's
room.
a
Perhaps he had
there's an
simply
achievement
missed
where
a
you
memo.
actually turn off all the computers.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Hold on, let me plug in my mouse because I feel like my mouse would be good. I forgot whether or not my mouse will be useful for this game, and apparently it is. So, let me just do that real quick. There we go. Now much better. Sort of. Alright, let's continue moving along. What do you mean I'm cheating? I know what to do. Of course I don't know what to do.
When Stanley
All right,
came
guys,
to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Which one do you choose? I can actually go to either one of them, even though it says the left. So, which door do I go through? Right. Yeah, because you said left, I should go right, right? Yeah, I know. I'm using X-ray. All right, right it is.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Although they're both kind of the same, it's just
yes, truly a
room
worth admiring.
It's so sick.
It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Yes, I sit here all day. Look at this super real machine. $1.25 for cold drinks.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Do I go to the left or straight? You guys will, because I already know most of the endings, but I want to see like what ending you guys actually find. Get the yellow thing. Oh, you actually know some of the endings? Yeah, the yellow thing is the yellow thing is the best ending. Left. Why? He's switching now. He wants left.
And so he detoured
okay,
through
now
the
do we
section,
now do we go straight or elevator?
ahead to the opposite door and got back on track.
Oh, I just go off of what's first. Okay, so which way do we go? To elevator thingy or straight? Wow, he wants me to go straight so badly. Oh wait, this is actually good.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Why is the word straight banned? Who banned that word? Also, why do I have 7 viewers on a 90-year-old game? Good God. Using slides to assure employees that everything is okay. Make sure your slide has a slick blue graphic in the header and throw some level on all the text. This will ensure... Okay, I wasn't even done reading. Everyone is unique. You, most of all. Wait, which one is supposed to be me? What the hell? Number of slides on the slide. Slides, charts, and slides. Rate at which charts on the same slide depict the same information. I like where this is going. It's going really well. Rate of increase in graphs per slide. Please, no more charts. Stop. The Boss Appreciation Minute. On your Boss Appreciation Minute worksheet, circle the top 20 things you love most about your boss. Fill out the thing and return to your boss application specialist. Solving interpersonal conflict. If you ever find yourself in a conflict with another diligent employee like yourself, but more blah blah blah. Okay. What are your dreams for the future? Success, plant life, travel, pollution, a boat. Yes, my career is gonna be about to do. Synergize core values. SS2. Yes, that's what it says, SS2. Okay, let's continue. You know the best ending is the broom closet ending.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
You just chill here, that's actually an ending. Also, it's gonna be 74 degrees now.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
No reason to still be here at all, but it's an ending.
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
I'm waiting for the part.
Are you really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing? Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
Let's admire the broom. Look at the broom. Can't even see all of it.
You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it.
You're just gonna stay here? Where? I forgot, like, when that.
Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friends, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending?
The broom
closet ending was my favourite." I hope your friends find this concerning.
Okay, that's the one of the part. Did you get the broom closet ending?
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Alright, which way do we go? Do we go up or down? Mop? What direction is mop? I don't know what direction mop is. Alright, up. Everyone wants me to go up. Fine, I will go up. Isn't there the ending where, like, you try to close the door behind you and then you can, like, go backwards? I'll do that later.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
I'm gonna use the axe. Are you ready?
Unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible.
How was that even a rush?
He didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk.
I took like 3 tries to guess it, and you call that fast?
So he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
Oh yeah, now we're gonna listen to music.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
This game is called the Stanley Parable. It's in the thumbnail. Going down.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Alright. Sorry, give me just one moment. Okie dokie, where do we go? Or is it just dark? It's just really, really dark and I can't see anything.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind
Alright, so
Control
which
Facility.
way do we go? Do we go this way? Do we go straight or left? Did we do the friggin' escape pod? This is where it gets creepy. You can already tell by the light. Why is the word straight blocked? I don't know who blocked that. Who blocked that word? Did Matthew block that word?
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Oh, you guys really want me to do the original one? Yeah.
Now the monitors jumped to life,
Whoa,
their
look at
true
all those
nature
numbers.
revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of
Wow, he has
so
a
many
lot of
individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe
Mind
it couldn't
control.
be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to
Where's
believe it.
666?
He couldn't accept it. His
There no
own
666
life
here?
in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Why is it so goddamn dark?
But here was the proof.
I don't remember
The
it
heart
being
of
this
the
dark.
operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life.
Mind control.
For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Alright guys, what do we do? Do we turn it on or do we turn it off? Of course he's gonna say on.
Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story
Look
now.
at the timer.
Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means.
We have a minute and 30
I barely know
seconds.
where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you
Wow.
exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better.
Oh yeah, there's also the
goodness,
Minecraft.
only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. Why is this the death music? That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble.
Why does this have such a good beat?
This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom.
Around the shaking.
No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count. Or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever up.
Rip. And black screen. Rippy dippy. And wow. Now there's papers everywhere.
Stanley knew the office layout like the back of his hand. It was only a matter of time before he found the others, wherever they were. Just a matter of time.
Alright, let's I want to do the thing where you go to
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
It just shows like the shaking and then the
wow. Yes, this room.
Oh, wait.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Wait, let's do the one
Stanley
where
was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've got... But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Yes, we all think I'm powerful.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Alright. There we go again. Oh wait. Where's room 420? Did it pass room 420? It probably passed.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first,
so then we do the telephone
it.
one. The telephone one is...
The lounge was sublime.
That's a great one.
A work of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
No, we don't. We don't do things like that.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible
we
he
ain't
wasn't
do things
5
like
years
taking
ago.
the door on the left. Who freaking does that? Doors on the left.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting,
Yeah, I've been
Stanley.
here for 5 years of my life.
Someone
I know
you've
this
forgotten
entire
about.
place.
Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting. That's her, Stanley. Oh, no, you can't.
There
Did
we
you
go.
just unplug
All right,
the
now
phone?
this is where it gets
That
good,
wasn't
boys.
supposed to be a choice. How did you do that? You actually chose incorrectly? I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check. No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in, fade to white, roll credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person. I can't believe I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices. And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation? Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world. Please observe this helpful instructional video.
Choice. It's the best part of being a real person. But if used incorrectly, can also be the most dangerous. For example, in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Stephen has a choice. He could spend years helping improve the quality of life for citizens of impoverished third world nations. Or he could systematically set fire to every orphan living in a 30-kilometer radius of his house. Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back, sack, and crack."
My goodness, it's 4:30. I'm supposed to be having a back smack and what? I don't even know what the hell they said, but okay.
Excellent. Making choices on a regular basis is the best part to a healthy decision-making process. Most medical professionals recommend making at least 8 choices per day. Do you make more than 8? Less? And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside. At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
Alright.
Welcome back. You may have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way, please.
Wow, thanks for opening the door. You're so nice. Oh wow, it doesn't even let you jump off.
Now that we know your choices are meaningful, we can't have you jumping off the platform and dying. Imagine the main character dying senselessly halfway through the story. That story would make no sense at all. We just need to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality. Almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending, the story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world.
I don't like the real world ending. The real world ending is boring.
Now remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
We're gonna go on the right.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other direction.
That's
Perhaps
really
we're not too late.
Did I just keep going in here? No, it's gonna force me to go on the left this time, isn't it? I forgot how this ending works, but I guess we go this way. Oh yeah, isn't the office destroyed? Yeah, the office was
It's
destroyed.
ruined. I can't believe, after everything we talked about, that my story, you've destroyed my work. Why? For what? What did you get out of that?
That is the point
what
of
did you
this
think
game,
was so special about seeing the game undone, left here like so much garbage? Well,
you don't follow the
it's
path.
worthless now. And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth
It's
it?
like a
to know that my
mystery
story is now
slash,
incorrect? How can I go back to
like,
that?
spooky
I can't
game.
erase
I
that
don't know if
knowledge.
it's like
I'll have to live with it forever,
sort of, I guess.
reliving its impossibility forever. Oh, I couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely? To willingly destroy all of my work? I don't know. What's the answer? What do I do? What do I do? What do I...
Grr.
No, I have to.
Everywhere.
I have to shut the game down. I have to.
Everywhere?
I have to.
Shutting off the lights. And the rippy dippy. Wow, it's so dark.
Oh, I'm here. I'm still here. Here in this pile of rubbish. With you. You, who thought you were so clever. Now look where we are. My entire game is destroyed. It was the only thing in the world that was mine, and you've run it into the ground. What, did you think that would be funny? You just had to see? Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley? He actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it. That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it?
The ending
That
earlier
there's a
was good
world
one.
outside of you. You're a child. Oh, my story. If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have
What is that
destroyed
again?
it
I've
and
heard
been
of that, but I
victorious.
don't
It would
remember
have been
what
so
it is.
perfect. I worked so hard on it. I tried so hard.
Why do you want the bathroom ending so bad? That's
Behave
like
exactly as
an
Stanley
annoying
would. That
ending.
means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley
know I'm
came
not
to a
gonna go
set
through
of
the
2
left.
open doors, he entered the door on his left. No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry.
Oh, nope, it cut out.
Behave exactly as Stanley would.
It's gonna
That
keep going
means
back and
choosing
forth.
responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Wow, I literally didn't do that. Whoops.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry.
It's gonna keep cutting out, isn't it? Yep.
Behave exactly as Stanley would.
How
That
many
means
times is it
choosing
gonna repeat?
responsibly and always putting the story first.
Yeah, keep
I'm
going
quite sure
right.
you'll be up to the task. Just follow my
We
lead
keep
and
going
you'll
right
be
until we
fine.
break the game.
All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. No!
right, though.
Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry.
I wanna go right. Going right is good.
Behave exactly as Stanley
How many
would.
times is it gonna
That
repeat?
means
Is it gonna
choosing
keep going?
responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure
Why do
you'll
you
be
want
up
me
to
to
the
go left?
task. Just follow my
Left is
lead
the
and you'll be
boring
fine.
ending.
All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, He
Left
entered
is the
the door on
boring
his
ending.
left.
Why do you want me to go left? Left is boring.
No!
It's
Why did you
boring
do
when
that?
you actually follow
Quickly,
the narrator.
hurry. Behave exactly as Stanley
Oh my
would.
god, is it actually
That
going to
means
keep
choosing
repeating?
responsibly and always putting
I
the
might have to
story
actually go
first.
left.
I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead
I thought
and
there
you'll
was
be
an
fine.
ending where you keep
All
going
right.
right, but I guess I have to go left.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open
'Cause I think it's
doors,
just gonna
he
keep repeating.
entered the door on his left.
It's gonna keep repeating, so might as well. I have no other choice.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of
It was just gonna
disbelief,
keep repeating.
Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Fine, I'll
Coming
be
to
able
the
to do
staircase,
puzzles bathroom
Stanley walked
ending. If I
upstairs
can
to his
actually get the
boss's
door
office.
closed. If I can actually close the door, I'll do your bathroom ending. Alright, we gotta be professional. Where's the sensor? Or does this not close?
Stepping inside his manager's
I'm not a
office,
professional.
Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked,
know.
unraveled,
I forgot
Stanley
what the
wondered in
endings are.
disbelief who orchestrated this, until he saw the
Please
door
speak
with a
clearly. Yeah, this
voice
one doesn't
receiver
work.
next to it. Surely behind this door lay all the answers to his questions.
Okay, yeah, this ending is a... It's just gonna go in a circle. So... We're just gonna... cut that one out. Alright.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room to check
Let's
on
do
his
the,
coworkers.
let's do the line.
He never functioned well.
Let's see if
by
I remember
himself
what the line
and
ending is.
constantly needed support and guidance from
So
others.
it's the one where you
So
go
the thought
right,
of total solitude was
and
terrifying
then
to him.
you go to the elevator thing, and then you jump
When
off,
Stanley
and then you
came
get
to
the
a
blue
set
doors.
of 2 open,
So
this
we're
was
gonna go
not
right
the correct
again.
way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge
And
first,
then we're
just
going
to
to go
admire
to
it.
the elevator thing. And then we're
Standing
gonna jump
now in
off
this
the elevator
incredible
thing,
room,
but not
Stanley
die.
for the but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Because one of the times I just jumped off and that was an ending. I don't know why
Stanley
that's
was so
an ending, but
bad
it's an
at
ending.
following
Yeah,
directions,
then we jump
it's
onto the,
incredible he wasn't fired
onto
years
the
ago.
rack-up thing over here.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've
I'm
gotten
gonna
off
be
on the wrong
super
foot
elite
here.
at parkour. You're
I'm
gonna
not
watch my
your enemy,
elite
really,
parkour
I'm
skills?
not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone
see
you've
if I'm
been
so good.
neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've
Here we
forgotten.
go.
What?
Yep,
Really?
there we go.
I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove
Let's
it.
do the
Let me
left and
prove
right
that I'm
doors.
on your side.
This is gonna be
Give me
fun.
a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
No, you never go through the correct door that they say. You go through the blue one.
Perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door.
No.
I still don't think we're communicating.
Aha!
properly.
You think you can
Stanley
get me?
walked through the red
You really
door.
think you can get me with that? Not today, boy.
All right,
I know this
fine, go
game too
ahead,
well.
Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
I
you
haven't
get
even
the
finished
baby
building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here
Isn't
in the
this the
first
one where you
place.
get where you
Broken
burn the
rooms,
baby alive?
exposed developer textures.
Where you
Is
burn,
this
like,
what
the-
you had wanted? Was it
the
worth
stick
ruining
thingies
the
with the
entire
picture?
story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What
There's
would have
actually an
made
ending
this
where
game
if you
better?
actually play
What
the
did you
baby game
want
for 4
to
hours,
see? Vehicles?
but
Skill
I don't have
trees?
4 hours.
Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far.
Yeah,
Tell
the
you what.
professional is the
Let me
bathroom
take a
ending.
stab in the dark at a new
I couldn't
design,
get the
and you can
bathroom
give me some
ending, though.
feedback. There we go. A third option. This
Ooh,
already
third
feels
option.
leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here.
Oh yeah, this is the Minecraft
A
ending. Isn't it?
1? I mean, I can understand if you had reservations, you saw ways the game could be improved to more fully express itself mechanically and artistically, but a 1? That's not even helpful. What am I supposed to do with that? But I guess it isn't my place to judge. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
Oh. Now we have a leaderboard. Wow. 2 seconds? 4, 5, 11, 15. Did you know that 21.3% of players skipped the intro sequence? Only the worst 3% of players chose the blue door. How long did it take you to get to the correct door? Compete against others to improve your Stanley Parable career. Wow, that is a lot of numbers.
Now,
Wow,
would you
you
say
moved the
that
number thing.
competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please.
Honest.
Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and
Oh,
now
yep,
would
here
be
we
a
go.
lovely opportunity to give it some play testing. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up. In this
Yep,
game,
here's the baby game.
crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and
Welcome
if
to
he
the
reaches the
baby game.
fire, you fail.
That you can play for
It's
4
a very
hours straight.
meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message
By the
of the
way,
game only
I'm
becomes
gonna have to
clear
make the baby
once you've
burn.
been playing it for about 4 hours.
Because
So why
unless you
don't
wanna
you
play
give
for
it
4
4
hours.
hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
You can just keep doing this all day for 4 hours. We watch the baby burn.
You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I
This
don't know what to
video is
do.
now
I'm completely out of
demonetized.
ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm out. I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh,
know, right?
hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the
Yeah.
pain. Let's see. What do we have here?
It's the game, okay,
Yes,
Dino?
this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
That's just how you play the game. Hey, welcome to my new Minecraft
Well, Stanley,
Survival
is this
Let's
any
Play,
better?
everyone.
At
It's
last,
a
the one
pleasure to
thing
be
you've
here.
always desired. A game I had absolutely nothing to do
Got
with.
our super
But
sick
is it
Minecraft
enough?
world.
Tell me that, Stanley. Will it ever be enough? Well, I'll say this. I'm done making things for you. From now on, I will only create to fulfill a greater
We're
artistic
playing
purpose.
Minecraft now.
Watch this, Stanley. I'm going to build a house.
Here we go, boys.
This
Super
will
duper
go
MLG House
here.
101.
No, here. And then... Let's see,
Gotta
what
break the
does it
box.
need? Yes, of course. And just to finish it all off...
Hey.
Yes, it's complete. I made this, Stanley. Look at it. Gaze upon
The
my
best
work of
house
art
you've
and
ever
feel
seen in your
ashamed at your
Minecraft life.
own inadequacy. Ah, but you've only seen it from
I
the
can't pick
outside.
flowers.
You've only gotten half the experience. Please, step inside and make yourself comfortable. Isn't it
Alright, guys, I'm in my
grand?
new Minecraft
Isn't it
house. We're gonna live
perfect?
here now.
It could only be better if... Wait, that's it. We must rebuild it out of diamond. Diamond
Hey,
everything.
we're gonna go mining.
Yes. Come along, Stanley. We have to go
I can't
mining.
break it. It's he's moving it. It's narrated. I can't even jump. So I'm like forced to go down. Wow, look at the ocean over there. Now we're gonna go mining for some diamonds, boys.
Oh my,
You
it
don't
looks like
actually
it's
get to
going to
mine
get a bit
diamonds, though.
dark. Have you brought a light?
gravel over here. Got some more flowers. Doesn't look like there's many
no,
ores.
no. This is far
Nothing in
more
the way of ores,
open-ended
though.
than I had in mind. I'm looking for something more narrow and linear.
Wow, that is
Something
a
that
drop?
makes you feel utterly irrelevant. This won't do at all.
That
1
is
out
a
of
drop
5.
and a half.
Even the diamonds couldn't
Oh,
save
it's
this
dark.
one.
It is
Okay,
really
new
dark.
game.
Hey, we playing Portal out here.
Yes! I don't even know what this game is, but I love it. You, trapped in a glass box with no way out, listening to me talk. Oh, it's inspired. I couldn't have done it any better myself. What is this
Is it just
game
stuck there
even
now?
supposed to
It's just
be?
stuck there.
I can't figure it out.
Did I just break a glass?
Now I'm
Whoops.
curious. Let's go find
I
out
just
what
broke
the
a
hell
glass.
this is.
Let's put the checklist in the toilet. Wow, does it not even fit in the toilet? Need to like rotate it. How do I rotate it? Okay. Yeah, there we go. Nope, that doesn't work. It doesn't want to go in. It doesn't want to go in the toilet.
Oh, it's a puzzle. Critical thinking, Stanley.
It is puzzle.
Your forte.
Gonna do this thing here.
Genius.
Wow.
No, actually, you know what? I think that's
Wow,
plenty.
he doesn't want me to
I
continue
really
playing
don't
Portal.
care much to see you stumble through
I was having
more
fun
of
playing my
these
free
games,
game of Portal.
and I highly doubt you're any wiser for the
Oh, and then you get sent here. You get sent to a very creepy place. That is very dark. I can't see anything. It's just making sound. Oh, now here's the hard one. Oh yeah, isn't this like the Gary's Mod version of this? Cause didn't they have like a Gary's Mod version of this or something? Or Prop Hunt? Whichever game it was. Alright, I forget if we actually find somewhere to go. To the light. The only light source that exists. Oh yeah, and then this is the room. Alright.
I
Now
wonder
where are
what
we
he
off to?
found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice, and if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
Yeah, we're waiting. Oh yeah, your thing expired. Oof. Is it gonna change? Yep, it's gonna change. Okay, so this wasn't the line ending. Which
Even
one is
now,
the line ending
Stanley's
again?
office was a distant memory. What did it look like?
I
There was
don't
a
remember which
computer,
one is
perhaps, and a painting. Was it a
Which one's the line
painting
ending?
or a photo? He could no longer recall.
Was the line ending
When
the one
Stanley
where you
came
do
to a
that?
set of two open,
Where you
this
do the
was not the
elevator?
correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it
I
perfectly
don't think
well.
I did the one with the elevator.
Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Stanley felt lightheaded, butterflies in his stomach.
I'm not good at the
But eager
bathroom
to get
ending.
back
Trust
to
me, I've
business,
tried the bathroom
Stanley
ending before.
took the
It's so
first
hard.
open door on his left.
It's so hard to find the sensor and then like back out of the boss's office. It's so hard to do that. I'm gonna be spending like half an hour just trying to go out of the bathroom.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
I think this is the one with the line. Is this the one with the line?
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now, in order to get back, he needed to go,
Oh, yes, this is the one.
From here, it's, left.
Thank you, Matthew, for upgrading your thing
Oh, no.
again.
No, it's to the right. My mistake.
Wait, which direction did you say? Oh, this way.
No, not the right.
We gotta
Why
keep
would I
trying.
have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please? Now, let's see. We went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes.
This is the
I've got it
confusion
now.
ending,
This
boy.
story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Pretty sure.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes.
What do you mean? I've seen this before.
Okay.
We saw this before in
back
the
to,
beginning, boy. Calm down.
Who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Narrator is me. He's bad guy. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Multiple Doors.
No one restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be...
Welcome to Door Simulator 101.
Change.
It's got
Stanley,
like multiple
did
doors
you
we can
change
go
anything
into.
when we were back in that room with all the
Pretty
monitors?
sick.
Did you move the story somewhere or...
Just choose
Hold on.
any door you
Why am I
please.
asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley.
All right.
Let's
Let's
find
obviously
the
go
story.
through this door because we can definitely go through there. All right, here we go, boys. Time to adventure and through all of these doors. Wow, that is a lot of papers on the floor. This is a very messy office. Who the heck leaves their office like this? You know, this office is actually pretty good now because, you know, you don't want anyone to be at the office because quarantine. So, you can quarantine yourself inside of this place.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again?
What do you mean second hole?
Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this.
Tell me about
Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
Here we go. Oh,
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I think after this is the line.
Okay, yep, it's worse.
Yep, we got
I might be remembering this wrong.
Oh,
it's
did they, like,
possible the
punch a
story
hole
is
in your
back
wall?
where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Boxing fight, indeed.
Aha! I knew we'd missed something. The story. Here it comes.
It's gonna be a dead end.
No,
Yep,
wait,
dead end.
never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
And yep.
Now this...
Look at this.
Well, I'll
next
be
room.
honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I
Wow,
don't
they just
think
want to
so.
like make.
I can't
holes.
quite recall, but I believe my story took place in
Is
an
that how
office
much they want to
building.
move?
Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win!
Yay, I win!
Congratulations!
No, I win the
I
game.
know you put in a lot of hard work, and it
This is
really
victory
paid off.
right
So,
here, boys.
good job. Oh, no. No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
Hey, the Stanley Parable
All right,
Adventure
I've got a
line.
solution.
This is
This
the
time,
great
to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line.
Here we go,
Just
boys.
follow the line.
Gotta
How
follow
simple
the
is
line,
that?
you know? And close the solitaire computer. Can I not reach the solitaire computer? Why can't I reach the solitaire computer? That's dumb.
You see, the line knows where the
Alright,
story
guys, you gotta
is.
follow the line
It's over
exactly.
in this
So we
direction.
gotta go this way.
Onward, Stanley,
Like
to
in a
destiny.
circle here.
Nope.
Gotta
Here's a
make
thought.
that
Wouldn't
turn.
wherever we end up be our destination,
We have
even
to
if there's no
like,
story
follow
there?
the line.
Or to put it
just
another
the way
way,
it is.
the story of
And then we
no
go up the
destination
stairs now, and
still
then
a
make this
story?
weird curve. I
Simply
don't know
by
why
the
it's
act
so
of
curved.
moving forward,
Oh, now it goes on the
we
wall. How am I
imply a
supposed to follow
journey
this? I guess
such
I'll
that a
just do that.
destination is inevitably conjured into
okay.
being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself. Whoa, whoa,
The
whoa,
line
whoa.
is going
Hang
weird
on.
here.
That got a bit weird
this
back
is-
there. Well, I'd like to apologize.
Don't follow
Not
it
sure
literally.
where I was going with all
Well, there's
that.
some interesting
You know
stuff.
what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
Alright, here we go, boys. This is the best background music you've ever heard in your life. Copyrighted tonight, boys. Oh, this is getting loud. It's better going all your playlists. Oh, is the music too loud for you? Wow, that is a really. This is probably the most compact. That was freaking nicer. Yeah, just a little bit. Gonna make a simple game.
Cut the music, go back, and look at that fern.
Gonna make me look at the
Stanley,
fern.
this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember
guys,
it carefully.
study the fern.
You won't want to miss anything.
Take notes. This is your time now to take notes on the fern. It's obviously really important. Gotta like look at it on all angles, all sides. Alright, there's the fern. Yes, this is science class. Welcome to science class. Today we'll be observing this fern right here. You have to explain what this fern looks like in 10 sentences or less. I mean, or more. There is no light or water. Yeah, what do you mean? There's like a little bit of light over here. Don't you see the light? It's like sort of touching it, but not really. You got like 0.5 sunlight radiation. Let's see what else. It's still very dark in this end. Yeah, we gotta study these leaves. Very important part of our society here. It's pretty cool. The leaves reflect each other. Wow, that is a very nice observation. That the leaves reflect each other. They create sunlight. Well, not much sunlight in here. Definitely not much sunlight here. You want to stand still in front of the plant? Yes, everyone just take a moment to observe the plant. Just observe it. Soak it all in. I can't open the blinds. Can I open the blinds? Behind me? No, I can't. Can't open the blinds. Yeah, we should probably continue. What's this line?
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No.
Hey, room 420.
No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
And we're back.
Oh, no, not again. Line, how could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
That is many restarts that we have done, god dang it. The line still exists, though.
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line.
Line
What's
TM.
it ever done for us? We're intelligent people,
That's the
right?
adventure line TM.
Why can't
It's
we make
trademark.
up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Oh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Oh, a new door, huh? Yeah.
Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it. Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
It's a TM. I like how it puts it's a TM like it knows what it's referring to. The word it is now trademarked. You cannot use the word it.
Ah,
Hey,
a
here we
choice.
go.
We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute.
Wow, look at these really realistic.
So I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere, the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination
Anyone getting dizzy yet?
corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes,
Oh, you want to
then
go
by
the other
all
way, huh?
accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
Here's the trick. You did all that to go to the right door, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
hold up, what's this? The confusion ending.
Confusion ending.
You're telling
You've been
me
playing the confusion
that's what
ending.
this is?
16
It's all
minutes.
one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game what, eight times?
Deviate from maintenance room, end up in monitor
That's
room,
really
narrator,
how
restart
all this
game.
goes?
First restart.
It's all
Discovered that
determined?
2 rooms now has many
So
additional
now,
doors.
according to the
Aimless wandering,
schedule, I
narrator,
restart
restart
again.
game,
Then what?
restart.
Am I just
The
supposed to
office is now
forget?
dead.
Well,
End.
what if I
Turn
don't want to
around,
forget?
Find another dead
My
end.
mind goes blank simply
End up
because it's
in
written here
another
on
building, narrator
this
restarts
thing.
the game. Third restart,
wall.
adventure line. Hey, we're up to that one.
Well,
Fourth
you
restart,
consulted
adventure
me.
into
Why
unexplored
don't I get to
territory. Find the
decide?
line again.
Why don't I
Find
get
the
a say
convenient
in all
ending
of this?
schedule.
Is it really?
And then fifth end, restart,
No, it
narrator
can't
forgets
be.
about previous
I
restarts.
don't want it to be.
Like to play the
I
story,
don't
but
want
it's
the game to
prevented,
keep
and really go anywhere.
restarting.
Game
I don't want to
restart
forget
time. No,
what's
text
going
reset,
on.
find the line
I
again,
don't want to be
begin the
trapped
follow-up
like
line.
this. I won't
Find an
restart the game. I
identical
won't do it. I won't do
office
it.
that
I
belongs to the
won't
jury.
do it.
Time to make up a story.
And the timer
Stop.
stopped?
Oh, stop.
Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the
It has-
cycle? The,
It
whatever
has
it is that made this
frozen.
schedule?
What the heck?
How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay. I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story. Wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if you
Up, it's dead. And the dead boys. Alright, so I think I'll just do one
all
more
of his
ending. Which
co-workers
ending
were
did we do?
gone,
I don't remember.
what could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the
Went into
meeting
the
room.
bathroom.
Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
You know what? I'll save the bathroom ending for whenever I do this again. It'll make you come to the stream again to
When
watch
Stanley
the bathroom.
came to a set of two open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room,
it'll be the
and Stanley
bathroom
knew
ending
it
live
perfectly
stream.
well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was grand, majestic, perhaps, but eager
Like
to
how it
get
changes
back to
it.
business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
We did this one, but we didn't do
Stanley
the
was so
version
bad
where
at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't 5
the
years
phone
ago.
would stay there, right? Oh, maybe not.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you.
We did the one where
all
we
this
unplugged the
time.
phone.
There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by
You know, you
yourself.
could also die.
I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
What do you mean, where it has
This is
like a
it,
different
Stanley.
voice?
Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Let's do the
That's her,
creepy
Stanley.
ending. This is the creepy ending. Wow, 427.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving
Wow.
wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's
What is
really going on
stop.
here.
Wow,
This
that
is a
really
very
small
sad story about the death of a man named
Wow.
Stanley.
Alright, here we go, boys. Good morning, employee 427. Press Z on your keyboard.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence. Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button.
You're gonna have to remind
Now
me,
he's
because
eating
I'm not gonna
lunch.
remember.
Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life. But in his mind, In his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures.
Wait, is there
From
actually an
behind his
ending where you
desk,
don't press the
Stanley
button?
dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful, and each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
Press Z to watch TV. I can't press F. Doesn't let me. F doesn't. Is there actually an ending where I just don't press the button at all? That is creepy.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss,
press on the button,
everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
To spend time with the boys. Feel like I'm pressing U, I, O, P, L, K, nothing.
So he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
Press P to prepare dinner. Wow, I wish I could prepare dinner by just pushing a button.
As he wandered through this fantasy
I wasn't
world,
really preparing
he
dinner,
began to
that
fill
was
it with
adding
many
cabinet,
possible
but okay.
paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
Press C to tell your kids a story.
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing
look at
beyond
the
hope
light.
that it would
Look at
never
the ceiling.
end, that he might
Is that better?
always feel this free.
I don't even know why they put that
Surely
in
there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
Press 8 to tell your wife you love her.
But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one.
Please press I to go to sleep. Wow, I wish I could press I to just go to sleep.
And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me.
Supposed to say
He won't stop.
demonetized.
Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
I do it. Please press I to be at work in the morning. So do I just stand here? Yeah, I'll just press it.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill
the lights are
himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
I see what it did. It generated the office again. Wow. Press I to question nothing.
I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again.
Please
And Stanley pushed a
Wow.
button. And I tried again. And Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
And that was an ending, boys. Alright. But that was that was a pretty good game, so far. We still have the bathroom ending that I could try. How many minutes do I have? I have like 20 minutes still. So I guess we could try the bathroom ending. Because Puzzle really
Wait,
wants to
Stanley
do
thought
that
to himself.
bathroom ending where
Am I sure that the orders
try
stopped
to
coming
walk
in?
out of the
How
frickin'
is that possible? They never stopped. Surely I was mistaken.
bathroom thing.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I'm gonna do a few attempts at the bathroom ending, but it's probably not gonna happen because it
Yet
requires a
there was
lot of
not
skill.
a single person
Why should I
here
say all
either.
this and then I actually
Feeling
get
a
it the first
wave
try?
of
Well, I didn't
disbelief,
because
Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley
we'll see how
walked
good I am
upstairs
at
to his
walking in
boss's
and out of
office.
doors. Alright, so here's where...
Okay, I think we...
Okay, yep. I did it. I did it, boys. I did bathroom ending. Now we can enter the bathroom. Alright, boys. This is what you came here for. To witness the bathroom ending. To be rich isn't a crime. To commit crimes isn't it rich. What a life it would be to have to pick just one. Admire the toilet. You can admire the toilet in your bathroom ending. This is what you came to the stream to watch. Oh, we got a sink here, boys. Wait, is there water? No, there's no water. We got our authentic towel. Got our plant. You know, got that plant. Can we sit on the toilet? No, I can't sit on the toilet, unfortunately. Can I open the toilet? No, I can't open the toilet. Can I move anything around? It's a oh wow, yo, we got extreme bathrooms. We got an extreme bathroom magazine. Gotta read the extreme bathroom. It's pretty fun. Alright, well, we'll end it off in the bathroom. So thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks for the supports on new game. I usually don't get this much support on other stuff other than Minecraft, so it's pretty good. So yeah, that's where I'll end it off for tonight. Tomorrow, I don't know if I'll be back with Minecraft or not, but we shall see. Alright, have a good evening. I'll see you guys all tomorrow. By the way, just so you're reminded, subserver development takes place usually between 12 to 2 p.m. Eastern time. That is usually when subserver development will take place, and that is when I will check on subserver stuff. So, yeah, that's when I will. Alright, I'll see you guys all in the